Hey, what's up? I'm Ga. We're in Seven Mortal Sins, probably for the last time. I got some notes over here, trying to organize my thoughts, but the other day I was in the shower, and like most people, I have some of my best thoughts, best thinking sessions in the shower. And I got to thinking about Seven Mortal Sins. You know, like what's the point of the game? Why am I still playing? Like, what is there to do, really? And, you know, I started thinking about, like, all the different kinds of content, and I came up with six things for content. So there's dailies, story, events, guild raid, PvP, and the characters themselves. And, you know, I was kind of trying to justify, I guess, you know, a reason to stick around, what content the game had that would, you know, really kind of keep me playing. And when I first started this game, I really liked the, you know, the turn-based strategy kind of aspect of it. But like the more that I played, it was just like, you know, you auto everything, you offline everything, and you never really had any sort of actual, like, real input. It just kind of became like a results screen simulator. So I wasn't really, like, playing the game anymore so much as, like, managing it, and, you know, just thinking about the content, right? So, like, the dailies, the stories, the events. Super easy, you just auto them, you offline them, and you know, it's, you know, just super easy. Like, Vortex is also new content, or content as far as like events and stuff go, so I kind of threw that in there. And honestly, the new Vortex is just very tedious. Like, I don't like it. It's not, like, hard, really. I mean, you just have to have the appropriate characters and items for the right stages and blah, 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 blah. But it's very tedious, and you're just like, okay, I have to go do this and then get this thing and take that thing back over here, and, yeah. Not for me. So that leaves Guild Raid, PvP, and the characters. Guild Raid is basically pointless. So, let me go over Guild Raid real quick, okay? So, 20 people in your guild need to log in to get stamina. And then, Abyss War never happened. They don't even have it in the Asian servers. And so, Daily Raid, if you look at the rewards, for max rewards for the day, you need to hit less than 300,000 on this boss. For bosses with minions, it's closer to like 800,000. This is incredibly low. And then for your guild only needs to hit under 9 million to get maximum rewards. And in the guild shop, there's basically nothing worth exchanging this currency for. Probably the best is going to be stamina. So this literally is just like an extra like 450 stamina a day, and that's like the whole point of guild. Like, there's no competition between the guilds. Like, being in a good guild gets you nothing extra. There's no cooperation between the members of the guild. Like, it's not like you're both or all trying to take down the raid boss together. It's, you know, each one hits separately and gets kind of their own thing. Like, there's no, I don't know, no real point to it. If you ask me, this could have just been like a solo game mode, because that's what it feels like. So then what about PvP? PvP used to be my main focus for this game. It's what I thought, you know, the end game actually was. But, you know, the more that this game lasted or whatever you want to call it. Basically, the longer the game went, the more toxic PvP went. It's essentially just like the same 5 characters running the show, and if you don't have those characters, get fucked. It's very difficult to try to break into the meta with a character that is not meta. Yes, there's a tier list, and like a lot of characters can do well, but it's really just, you know, the top 5, and it just gets worse from here on out. Like, I've seen the writing on the wall, I've seen what the Asian servers PvP looks like. It doesn't get better. Yeah. So, like, my whole reason for really playing this game kind of went out the window, and that's, you know, when I started kind of looking at this. So that just leaves the characters. And as far as characters for content, I don't really like that. So, like, content is content. Like, new levels, new fights, new, like, PvP or arenas or whatever, like, that's content. A character is something you build to do content. And then I was thinking that, like, the characters, right? Like, the end game is like collecting the characters and building the characters. But if all of the content in the game is basically pointless, there's no real reason to build characters. There's, you know, no reason to do it when guild raids points, like, the scoring is so low. You don't need max characters for this. Your dailies, your story, most of your events don't need maxed out characters to do. You're just going to offline auto them anyway, so there's no real reason to build characters. So that kind of left me with one option. Oh, and just while we're on the topic of, like, story and stuff like that, like, the story never really captured my attention. It's just all kind of like goofy, oddball, just nonsense, and I never really got into it. Like, there never really felt like there was a real plot or, like, stakes or something was on the line. So I ended up just kind of skipping through all the story. Never really bothered to read anything. But, you know, going back to my previous point, building characters is basically pointless. So that left me with one thing that I could think of as the end game, and that would be the gacha, and also the Soulpedia. So, as far as the gacha aspect of this game goes, a lot of people say that's very generous, and I mean, they're not entirely wrong. You do get free pulls on every banner every day, and they give out a decent amount of tickets. But when you consider how much resources and materials and effort goes into building a character, that generosity seems, you know, lower and lower the more you think about it. And especially with Super Evolution. So even if a character came out that I wanted to super evolve, it would probably take me like 3 to 6 months, maybe longer, especially considering that Riot of Blood right here, the main way to get Super Evolution materials, User Joy only runs every 1 to 2 months. So that's just very frustrating to deal with. And the length of time that it takes to build a character kind of reinforces my thought process, at least to myself, that this isn't a game. It is a gacha. And the entire purpose of it is to summon for and collect characters. It's basically just a waifu collector in combination with like a slot machine. With, you know, some things in the background that are masquerading as a game, like little mini games or whatever. And to me, the core of this game is basically the same thing as having like a scrapbook or a stamp collection or an anime figure collection, which I don't do anyway. I'm not a big fan of collecting things. It's just not for me. I like games with complex mechanics and like actual gameplay. Having cool characters is a bonus for sure, but like if a game has collection as a part of it, that's cool. I like that, as long as it's not the only thing, like the only point of the game to collect characters. And I know some of you guys are gonna argue with me. It's like, well, there's PvP and like this stuff, and it's like I kind of already told you guys my thoughts on that. Like there's just no good reason to be competitive in this game when the top end of PvP is the way that it is. And originally I was going to stick around until Magic Girl Asmo came out, but then I just kind of realized that wouldn't fix any of the issues that I have with the game. It's not like Magic Girl Asmo would come out and magically make everything better. It's kind of like putting new paint on a dumpster, a dumpster that's on fire and has been sitting in some sort of cesspool, the dump. People, like all the homeless people, have been shitting and pissing in it. Putting new paint on that, and that's basically what that is. Like Magic Girl Asmo is not a top tier character. She would have a rough time at PvP, which is kind of what I wanted to do with her. She doesn't really excel in any of the content, so I'd literally just be getting her for collection to like show off, be like, oh, look at my new Asmodeus's stats, this is so cool, and then she's benched and then never sees play. I mean, I don't know. It's just everything just kind of feels, like I just don't care anymore. Like there's no real reason. It's like, oh, well, isn't Asmodeus your waifu? I mean, yes, she's my favorite character, but like I said, this game is just very poorly managed on User Joy's behalf. It just kind of seems, I don't know, like I've described this so many ways in so many different videos, but just to sum it all up, it's just bad. It's just bad. And like I've lost all motivation to really play when there's nothing rewarding for me. Like there's no experience that I could have in this game that I would feel good about. Most days when I think about this game, it just kind of makes things a little sour for me. And I know like a lot of my videos, like so many, are just so negative, and like I don't like the negativity anymore. You can only put up with so much before you just burn yourself out. And User Joy seems intent on sinking this ship. It's like they're steering the Titanic, and instead of trying to avoid the iceberg, they purposely crash into it. But that being said, if you still like this game, keep playing it. Do what you like, don't do what you don't like, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. So yeah, unless something game breaking comes out, unless User Joy does a complete 180 on this game, I'm done. But hopefully you guys stick around. I've got some plans for the channel. I'm going to be doing a whole nother video on what I plan to do with the channel, and hopefully you guys are just as excited as I am about turning over a new leaf, doing something new, doing something exciting. I feel like it's going to be a whole different energy for me, and like I'm actually personally very happy and relieved to be walking away from this game. But like I said, if you guys are still enjoying it, keep doing what you love, and hopefully you stick around and we'll hang out and do some other stuff together. But until then, we'll see you in the next one. Peace.